Welcome, everyone, to Influential Leadership Tips. I'm John Hadley.
And I'm Dave Miller. John, today I want to talk about a well-constructed video game that really illustrates this concept we talk about of tension management in leadership. So let me share the screen here for people. You might have played this game. It's called Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And it has a lot to do with leadership or motivation.
So that's the leader over on the other side there?
It might look like some leaders that you have worked with. I don't know. All of them are probably represented here. You're saying, Dave, this is really crazy. Why are you even showing this? Well, the formula for motivation is when you have the skills that it takes to produce the outcomes you're looking for in increasingly difficult situations, then motivation thrives. But if you don't have the skills that it takes, or you're not pursuing goals that are important to you, or maybe the challenge never changes, then motivation is going to wane. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I can think of many times in my career where just things got to be routine, and you just kind of you either need to step up the game or you kind of start going into zombie land. You retire on the job.
Right, exactly. And I've seen a lot of people where that happens, where the challenge never changes in their job, and so they lose motivation. But if you have a situation where there's challenge, there's engagement, because you're using your skills are increasing, then that's what happens. Now in this game, it's really interesting. If you've never played it, the game starts off very simply, okay? They give you limited skills, but there's a very small challenge as well. In fact, it's almost impossible not to succeed at the first level. It's very simple. You beat that first level, and then they add a skill. And they also increase the expectation a little bit in terms of conquering that level. So the skill increases, your ability increases at every level, and the challenge increases at every level incrementally, and it puts you to the test. So it becomes very motivating. It actually becomes very addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And you might get to a level where you don't conquer it, but then they let you go again on that same level, and usually the second, or if not the second, the third try, you're going to beat that level because you're learning how to use those skills. So it's really a great metaphor for how a leader can motivate their people. Have you ever, maybe you've experienced this, hopefully you have, been in a job that you love so much every day because of the challenges, because you get to use your skills, that it doesn't even feel like work. And, the hours go by, That's what we're looking for. If you can create that as much as possible, that environment as a leader, then some good things will happen.
Yeah, I think I've talked before about when I worked for one boss who he was great at setting huge, audacious challenges that we were going to meet in the next 5 years, and we were all excited. It was a great place to work. It was very challenging, but we really, really were highly motivated. And when he left, it's like all the challenges disappeared. Or they put the brakes on the line, and within a very short time, I realized it was not a place I wanted to be, and I was looking for another place where I could get a challenge, and I moved on to my next dream job after that.
Yeah, there's too many people that either have the situation where they're not using their strengths nearly enough in their job, and they're put in situations maybe that are impossible. Everything's stacked against them. They're not going to be motivated. And also people that the job just becomes too easy, too repetitious, never changing, and really no challenge anymore. That's not good either. So either of those situations are formulas for really for turnover.
Yeah, and as a leader, letting that situation exist for very long is really a bad situation. I remember I had someone who was assigned to me. His unit was assigned to me, and he seemed to have basically retired on the job. He would sit at his desk with his feet up, reading the newspaper. His unit was very unhappy. They were complaining all the time. I put a new manager in, and demoted this guy. But the new manager was able to find ways to challenge him in a new role within the unit. And he suddenly got re-engaged and really excited about what he was doing. And people started recognizing that he actually was contributing a lot. So it just changing it up and creating a challenge for him really caused him to kind of step up his game and change the way he operated.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, okay, the tip is, as a leader, as a manager, you want to constantly increase your people's skills and the level of challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people pretty much have the skill thing done. They typically send people to training courses and make sure they have the support they need. They learn on the job. So that typically is done so well, but they don't pay any attention to the challenge. And you know what happens then? People move what we call downgrid,
right,
into apathy. So the hard part about managing is not so much giving people the support for training and skill building. It's really making sure that they have the adequate challenges to keep them engaged.
Yes.
So that's my tip. Use the motivational formula with your people if you want to see them thrive.
Great tip.
Yeah, and so looking forward to catching you next week with our next tip.
And until then, be influential.